Hi, ladies. Good afternoon. I'm just going to give everyone a second and see if anybody hops on here. Um, yeah, kind of a sunny day. Sun's trying to pop up here in Seattle. Um, so I'm feeling a little conflicted today. And I know I want to come here every single day and uplift you ladies and show you guys what's possible for yourselves. Um, but I got a call last night from a really good friend, and he was congratulating me on this launch and everything that I've been working on. He's really excited for me. We actually bonded over our similar backgrounds because he's from a family that was split, and he was raised by his single mom as well. Um, so I got this call last night, and he says, I'd love to have lunch with you, but I'm going to be out of town till next week. Is that okay? I was like, yeah. Where are you headed out to? And he shared that his sister had passed away suddenly. Now I know that his sisters and him are extremely close, and they were like second mothers to him. So it's a pretty big loss. Um, and I have to say, I was really shocked because we had discussed that his mother was very ill. His mom is suffering from stage 4 cancer and battling it, but is having a really tough time. So that's kind of the call that I had expected to hear about. But it was his sister, and he said it happened really suddenly, that that she apparently had been diagnosed in October with inoperable cancer, and it had just progressed way faster than she expected, and ended up passing away just the other day. And really, no one in the family had any idea. Her husband, I think, knew, but she didn't want anybody else to know. And I think that's really sad for me, is that she didn't feel like she was able to share that burden with the rest of her family and kind of spread that, and gain the support of her family. And I know the reason why she did it was because she knew that her mom was suffering, and that this type of blow to her mom would just drag her down even further. And she didn't expect this to progress as fast as it did. I think she probably figured that her mom could have, the rest of her time without having to worry about her daughter. And so, super sad. But I thought it was still important to come and talk to you guys today about this, because quite honestly, there's been 2 points in my life where I've had incredible mind shift changes. One was when my marriage fell apart, right? And I was on my own, and I had to step up and be the sole provider for my family and change every aspect of my life. And two, the second time was when I lost my own mother. And I remember that day when I got the call, and I was at work, and she called and she said that they were in the ER, that she wasn't feeling well and had had an x-ray, and that they had found something on the x-ray. So having worked just down the street from her at the time, I left immediately to go be by her bedside. And it turned out that my mom had stage 4 melanoma. And I can't tell you how much of a mind shift that was for me. Every moment from that point forward became so incredibly valuable. When you're told you have 6 months to live, what do you do in 6 months? What does every day mean? It takes on a completely different meaning. Now, I was lucky enough to have a position where I could be by her side through a lot of her struggles, but we decided to fight it. And I remember being in the oncologist's office when my mom was told, do not take today's drugs. Her oncologist said, if you were my mother, I would not treat you. I would send you down to, here in Seattle, we have Fred Hutch. I would send you down to Fred Hutch and get you enrolled in clinical trials because they're having incredible results from those trials as opposed to standard treatment. Despite my feelings on it that she pursue the clinical trial, she decided to take the traditional drugs that were available, and less than a year later she passed away. And it was an incredibly hard journey and battle for her. But the day that she passed away, it was like, I remember thinking, great, now I'm mom, I'm dad, and I'm grandma for these kids. They don't have a grandparent anymore. And it's tough, right? But I also know that in that moment, everything changed for me as far as what I wanted from life. I had kind of put my career on the back burner for a little while to make sure that I was there for her during this journey, which was incredible that I was able to do that. But I decided that I was not going to be the woman that sat there and got the calls one day that she had 6 months to live. I was going to live my life like every single day was my last. Every single day, we have the opportunity to make our lives better than they were yesterday. Every single day, we have the opportunity to make choices and decisions about how we're going to spend every minute of our lives. Every day, we have the opportunity to decide how much BS we're going to deal with. The amount of BS and petty stuff that I was willing to deal with before that day and after that day completely changed. I'm sorry, your college football team lost their game. Get over it. I'm not going to sit here and babysit you and pat you on the back and tell you it's going to be okay. It's a game. I'm sorry that that this report was an hour later than you wanted it. I got it done, and it is impeccable, so you're welcome. I'm sorry that you feel the need to give my son 6 hours of homework every night. We will get done what we can, and we'll get past it, right? I am over living my life based upon someone else's expectations. I am over putting my life on hold to see what life is gonna do to me. I'm taking charge every single day. I'm ready to travel the world. I am ready, and I'll tell you about India another time. That's a whole nother story. But I'm ready to show my children what's possible for them. And I know that it's all going to work out in the end. But I can't wait to sit in my rocking chair at 80 years old and look back and be proud of everything I did every single day. I want to leave a legacy of inspiration and uplifting and empowering women. I want my children to look back and think about all the lives that I've touched and know that their mom was not willing to work a 9 to 5 and be a laborer for someone else. I've built someone else's dreams. I've built so many products and built so many dreams for other people. It's time to fucking build our own. It is time to put everyone else's dreams on hold and put us first. So, one of the things that I do every day that and I did it this morning because I knew I needed to focus my thoughts a little bit. I don't want to show up and be a Debbie Downer. This is not a pity party. This is an empowerment party every single day that I want to bring you. And today, I want you to feel empowered to take back every single day from this point forward. So one of the things that I did today, and I was about to say this, is take out my journal and journal about why this phone call was triggering me so much last night and why I couldn't pull myself out of this. I'm not in a funk, but I'm definitely in a somber, reflective moment today. And I hope that you guys are okay with this, because I promise that I will always show up as my authentic self. And some days that's a little bit more serious than others, but it's serious because this is the change I want to affect. This is what I want all of you to experience. I don't want you to experience it and wait until you've lost someone that's close to you. This is about taking every day in our hands. So what I was about to say was, I pulled out my journal and I wrote, what dreams have you put on hold? When we were little girls and we were thinking about what we'd be in the future, I think we all had huge aspirations about what we could accomplish. Our heads weren't filled with this idea that as women we would struggle to make it. We didn't know that. Our heads weren't filled with the ideas that as women we'd be paid 78 cents per dollar compared to men, right? We didn't have this negativity in our lives holding us back about what we could and couldn't do. So let's go back there. Let's go back there where we don't have that holding us back. What would you do? What dreams have you put on hold that you haven't put enough energy into, that you haven't made first? When you're 80 years old and sitting in your rocking chair, what stories do you want to tell about what you've accomplished? I can't wait to be a grandma, by the way. I mean, I can. My kids are like, enough, we're 9 and 12, we don't need the pressure of having kids yet. But I love the idea of being a grandma and just spoiling the heck out of them and making cookies and playing kickball in the yard. I can't wait for that. But in the meantime, I've got a lot of work to do. So I'm going to sign off. But take it on, ladies. There's so much possible for us. Think about it. What dreams have you put on hold? Where are you going? What are you going to do with it? Today's the day to seize it and see where it can go. Shift. All right. Bye, ladies.